Disney's got the pole position. They're the ones. They're the deal that the Fox board has basically accepted and still waiting for the date for Fox shareholders to vote on. Comcast is. I wouldn't be. Right. You should expect them to come in with an aggressive counter bid or a counter bid. Could be as soon as this week. I would look for them to potentially team up with someone else on this,
like
right?
Who?
Because
like a technology company or some
could be another investor. It's something I'm still asking around about. The reason is ultimately what Comcast really wants. They really like the Sky business. Right. By the way, that's a separate deal that they're already sort of bidding into. So that's a separate thing. The Star India business was actually a huge thing for Fox that I think a lot of people don't really discuss. It's 400, 500 million EBITDA yearly. It's a big growing business with a streaming service. I think that's the future for that. So that's what they really want.
Is it possible that we hear from somebody that makes us do the same thing that when we heard that Amazon was going to buy Whole Foods? Like
a jaw-dropping
tech company
Google,
that comes in and says we're going to transform what we do, and
so
this is the way we're going to do it.
This whole thesis around Silicon Valley coming in, buying big media companies. Silicon Valley still hasn't really wrapped their head around what media companies are, how they operate, why things are so expensive. I think they're figuring it out as they get into things like original TV production. If they make that leap where they realize, oh, there's a value to owning this asset, whether it's a CBS or a Viacom or what Fox is basically selling out there, they could make that jump. I don't think they've come there yet.
Can we talk about the emotional or component of this or the personality component of this? Because when Rupert Murdoch decided to accept the new Iger offer,
right,
which by the way made sense, you would
higher. It's simply higher.
You would take a higher offer, except that you did it with such a loving embrace.
Right.
Is that and he's clearly said, I want to be in business with Bob Iger.
Right.
Disney.
Was that a signal to say, we're not into this Comcast thing at all?
It seems like they're just not.
But is that a please leave us alone completely, or is that just come with a higher bid, and by the way, Brian Roberts, we will then love you, right? At what point do you switch gears?
I think the personality level is a huge factor here. Absolutely, Rupert Murdoch, drives by the seat of his pants. It's always been his way going forward, and I think, he has a relationship with Iger that he probably does not have with Brian Roberts. That's a huge factor here. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to what's bigger, right? So if Comcast comes in with another bigger bid, they're going to negotiate for real. And I think, it could end up with, yes, I like you, Brian.
In the long term, because if your shareholders are the largest block of owners of Walt Disney Company forever, in theory, it goes higher. So that's why it's not just
so it's right. A single class share where you have a stake versus a dual class share where you're not as have a bigger voice in. That's a factor too.
Can we just ask? When is the winner the loser? Meaning, at what price does this become so painful that there's a winner's curse element to this?
I think Disney's already sort of at the limit, frankly, at this point with what they've offered. I mean, they have an easier balance sheet where they can leverage a little bit higher, but the way that media companies versus a telecom company or cable company, they can always lever a little bit higher. I think Comcast has a little bit more room. Here's the thing: there will be a loser. That loser will still want to buy something. Right. That's the other thing to look out for.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.